Welcome to FundsUp.me, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of finance, uncovering the secrets of investing and exploring the strategies that can help you navigate the complex maze of the financial world. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, we are here to provide you with insights and advice from the experts. I'm your host, Eduardo Marcos. Hello there, listeners. Thank you very much for episode number 2. Today we're diving into the world of banking, and I have lined up a special guest for you. I am told she's the Beyonce of banking in Portugal. Basically, her name is Patrícia Dores. She works with UCI, and she's a financial advisor. Patricia, thanks very much for coming in.
Hello.
Welcome to our show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, good stuff. Would you like to present yourself to the audience out there so that they get to know you, what exactly you do, and how can you help these people that were looking to buy property in Portugal using mortgages?
I work for UCI. I've been working with them for the past 10 years.
Wow.
So I've been doing the same work since I got there. So I talk with a lot of customers, international customers, most of it. So I have a lot of experience in this area. And UCI is a bank specialized in mortgages.
Right.
And it's owned by two big international banks, Santander, Spain, and BNP Paribas. A French bank,
Right. Okay.
and we are in Portugal for the past 25 years already.
25 years. That's quite a long time. Yeah.
Yes.
I understand you are international company. You are based in several countries right now, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are based in Spain, Portugal, Greece, and Brazil.
Okay, all these countries. Eric, do you mind lining up the presentation that we have for these people?
Exactly.
Yeah,
This
great
is
stuff.
it.
So you were saying Spain, Greece, Brazil,
And Portugal.
Portugal, different sites. So basically, you are not far from the customer, correct? If you need to support them, you can have the face-to-face meetings and stuff like that.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
We like to know our customer very well because we have to build our rationale to present to the risk department, and it's very important to know all the information about the customer regarding incomes and expenses that the customer might have, and it's important for us to have a first meeting with the customer and not only know the documentation and analyze the documents and the numbers, but also talk a little bit with the customer too.
Tell me one thing, what does UCI stand for? What is the name for people to know?
Yes, it's União de Créditos Imobiliários.
Okay, so basically you just do mortgages.
Exactly.
Okay,
We are a specialist on this. We don't do anything else. So we don't have cross-selling because we don't have bank accounts. We don't have credit cards. We don't want to sell you anything else than the mortgage.
Than the actual mortgage.
Exactly.
Okay, this is good to know. 25 years, that's a long time, yeah? So
Yes.
that's all you do, mortgages, or your P&L just based on mortgage, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, this is good. This is good to know. So you've been probably over the of the life of the company with UCI, correct?
I've been what?
Off of the life of the company. So
almost half.
that's,
Yes.
that's good to know. So before we actually get down to the details of the different products and so forth, when basically you come in after I present you a client is looking for a mortgage, correct? Okay. So what you prepare and what do you feel as far as documentation is concerned, for the mortgage applicant to have a sort of a tight and solid case.
So that's what I was telling you about the information that the customer give us. It's really important not only to look at the documents, but to make like a history of them, like I don't know if the customer bought a new home in the United States, if he rents that house, if he's going to sell his car, or details that sometimes the documents don't talk about, and we need to know why is the taxes a little bit lower this year than the year before, and that help us to understand the documents and explain also these differences, because we have to bring this information to the risk analyst, because they take the decisions just looking at the documents, but if there is anything else that it's worth mention, then it's important for us to know.
So you gather all this information prior to submitting to the credit desk, so that they can approve.
Exactly.
You sent me a presentation early today, and I was looking at it, and I look especially at this information. 98% customer satisfaction. That's quite good, right?
It is, especially on this area, because on this business, because it's quite easy for the customers to be not very satisfied with the banks,
the service.
but not in UCI. Hopefully, we have always a very good percentage of satisfaction, and we will keep on doing it, because exactly because what we've been talking about, because we are very near the customer. I can follow up a customer, and the customer has, sometimes it's in the different time zone, but I can work it out, a way of answer when he has that little doubt in the middle of the night or something like that. So we are very close, and people get to trust us, and yes, and
that's
it's
good. I trust you've been working for you for so long time.
Thank you.
This is good. This is good to know. Now, you also mentioned that UCI has several advantages compared with other banks in the industry.
Exactly. Yes.
I would point out, and this is part of the experience, is that probably when it comes to non-residents or any other customers, you are the most effective and fastest bank to provide an approval. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we don't have all the other tasks that usually people that work in a bank and has a lot of branches open, we don't have that. The customer going inside the branch and open an account and making a deposit or something. We don't have that kind of work. So we are very focused on this on this job.
Yes.
So yes, a fast answer is very important, because it's important even for the business. It might mean that the customer will lose a house or not if we don't be fast enough. So
that's correct. Yes, I remember we had a few cases where the buyer wasn't too sure whether you get approved on the mortgage, and yet you wanted that particular property. And hence it was important that we get an approval so we can go into a promissory note. We
can do it previously even. We can approve to a limit, and then he searched for the house. But our approval is very fast. So if you see a house and you want to make sure that you can go further and have your loan approved, UCI is a good choice.
Yes,
okay.
I can vouch. I can vouch for that. So basically, even if a person is doesn't have a property, because they know that property market is very fast.
Exactly. Now,
If you don't book, and just for a reminder, when somebody does a a promissory note and doesn't form, is likely to lose the down payment. So this is quite important. So basically, you can tell the customer that he has the amount approved to that limit. Let's say, for sake of argument, it's a property worth 300,000. You can approve 210 ounce finance, and the person rests assured. Okay,
exactly.
that is the right. Okay, so in that sense,
As long as all the documents of the house are also
correct. Okay,
corrected, because sometimes there are legal issues, but we can help with that as well.
Okay, good to know. Okay, I also find very interesting. At the end of the day, you don't push clients to take other products, as in cross-selling, like you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
No credit cards, no other stuff that you make compulsory to subscribe to the mortgage.
The only products that we have are related with the mortgage, which means that they beside the mortgage, they can do the life and house insurance with us.
Okay, and which house insurance is always compulsory?
Exactly, it's mandatory.
Okay, this is good to know. Okay, so basically. How would you say the process of approval, the way it goes forward from the start, from the moment I present you a client? Okay, and you brought a chart here, so we can go through them.
Yes, it's very easy. All the process is very easy because first of all, it's almost all a digital process. You see, every document that the customer has to sign during the process, it might be signed at distance. We have a platform where we upload the documents and they sign it with a pin in their cell phones. Okay. So it's very easy to sign documents. And even for the the deed, the client can be represented by his lawyer with a power of attorney.
Okay.
So even that, it's an easy thing to do if the client cannot come to Portugal to do the deed. It can be all done at a distance.
Okay. So you're telling me that somebody anywhere in the world, provided that he's got the right income and the right setup, can buy a house
here
in Portugal, without coming over, and if, I know, for sake of argument, not even looking at the property itself, just make an investment.
Well, it can. I don't advise that, but theoretically, yes, it
that's
can
good. Now, if we focus on the first part, at the very part of the documents, many people are foreigner, right? So they don't have the documents in Portuguese, which is required for most banks. How do you tackle this kind of issue?
Yeah, well, actually, we rather have the documents in the original language. So it's easier, it's less expensive, because those types of translation most times are very expensive because they have to be official and everything. So for us, there's no need for it. We really trust our clients, and we'd rather to have the original original documents. We ourselves will translate it, and then after we gather all those,
even from Chinese.
It's not so easy. Well, sometimes we need the customer help.
Okay.
So
just to understand where it's coming from.
Yes.
This is good. So that's major savings, because a formal translation can be as high as €1,000 or even more if you're looking at a lot of papers.
And not only savings of money, but also saving of time, because those translations also take a lot of time to get. So it's a very good thing in our process.
That's good. So basically, you gather the documents, you calculate, let's say, things like debt to ratio to income, the STI on that stuff.
Exactly.
Validate the information, okay? And then for the decision, you also require them to have some kind of the value of the property and a certain loan to value. What is the loan to value or the guarantee of the finance, so that you can approve fairly easy.
Yes. We, with a non-resident, someone that has their income outside of Portugal, we can go up to 70%.
70%.
Exactly.
Okay. And perhaps this is a stupid question. Does it matter if the person goes for a 20 or even 10% loan to value? Is this something can interest? Does the conditions on the full loan get better with this kind of stuff? Or
Yes, because the bank doesn't have to lend you so much money, and the property values more. So
Okay.
yes,
So
it's
basically you're more comfortable. That's right.
we are exactly.
Okay.
That's why also we can go up to 70% for these non-resident customers.
Okay. If it's a foreign person living in Portugal for a few years, do they qualify for a higher loan to value?
Exactly, they do.
Okay.
If the income is in Portugal.
Okay, only if it's in Portugal.
Yeah, and we can go up to 90%.
90%, but
which is the law now in Portugal.
Yes, that's correct. So basically, let's assume now you see the documents.
Yes.
You have proved the mortgage as a financial wise. What is the next step after that?
Yes. So after the risk department give us an approval, the customer, if he wants to proceed with all the process, has to pay the appraisal. That's the next step. To pay the appraisal, so we can go to the house and visit the house and to see, well, it's an expert that goes there, an engineer that is going to say how much the house worth, and that is an amount that it's important for us. Okay.
So it's not you that's actually going to the property visit.
No, not me.
Not you. Okay.
So it's an engineer that goes there, and he tells us how much the house worth. And that guy also tells the house insurance the number or the
house insurance.
Exactly, the amount that the insurance should cover. Okay.
So basically, the insurance in that sense is calculated on the amount to rebuild, not the actual value of the property against the market.
Exactly, because if something happens, like an earthquake or something,
like today, yes.
Like today.
Did you feel that? The
Yes,
yeah.
I did.
I'm sure because you were coming here, the earthquake came.
Oh gosh! But if an earthquake comes or something, the land is still there. So
Right.
the amount of the worth of the house, it's not the commercial one, but the rebuilt one.
To rebuild one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good to know. Okay. So
After we get the report of the appraisal,
okay.
We can book the deed.
Okay, you can book the deed.
Exactly.
Let me just ask you, let's just say the house is worth 300 and the appraisal comes in at 290. What is that case? What you need, can we do? Because undoubtedly that is going to correct the finest amount. What can we do in that sense?
Well, if the customer has another house here in Portugal, we can use that other house to make a loan to value higher. Or else we have to correct
The amount.
the loan.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because it's always the lowest between the property value or the purchase price and the value that is being come out on the appraisal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you experience a lot of problems in this sense in the past few months?
No,
not
really. Usually, the house, the prices are very much the same, as the engineers also say that the house is worth.
Okay.
So it's not
this is good.
there are not many differences in there.
So we've seen the documents, we have approved the mortgage, we have seen the appraisal, which let's assume it's in line, and what comes next? And my understanding is the hardest part on the closing, right? Yeah. Preparation for the deed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it might have, maybe the risk department might have asked us for 2 or 3 additional documents. The customer should send that to us. And also, at the same time as we were doing the appraisal, also our solicitors were looking into the documents.
Of the property.
Exactly, of the property and the sellers.
Okay.
Because we want to prevent any problems that we might have on the day of the deed. So we work before to prevent that. So our solicitors look into the documents, and we only book the deed if we are sure that the documents will be there on the day of the deed.
Okay.
So we don't waste everybody's time, because imagine that a customer comes from another country to do the deeds. It has to book the plane and then he is here on the day of the deed, and there's no deed because there are still documents missing.
Okay. Yes, I'm sure you wouldn't be happy about it.
Yeah, you won't.
He or she. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So even for Portuguese customers, we do this because it's everybody's time. So it's not very professional. Do it in a different way.
Yeah. So when you say things about the seller, let's imagine for some reason he owns something to the tax office. You will be preventing this situation from happening, because I understand the tax invoices cannot be issued if he has a problem, correct?
Exactly. So if there is a problem like that, or even if the areas of the house are not corrected or something, we just tell them right in the appraisal time, we will tell them, well, you have to correct this to the seller, and after that we can do the deed, because the notaries also have to have the corrected documents in order to do the deed. So it's important that all is corrected by that day.
That's right. Okay. So this is good to know. Okay. So we've done the booking for the deed. We do the deed exactly on the same day.
on that day I will be there giving moral support to the clients, because
that's good to know.
Yes, because by that time I'm not needed there, but I will always go there. And well, if something goes wrong, I can always help, but usually it doesn't. So and after that, the customer can always call me or WhatsApp me or whatever every time he needs my help. But we have a customer support department that will follow the customer from there on.
Now that I have you at it, just out of the blue, we go detail in what types of mortgages we can do in Portugal, but let's say for some reason the deed you book like a mixed rate, a 2-year fixed rate on a 30-year mortgage, and after 2 years the customer is not entirely sure whether he wants to turn variable, because as we may know there's some risk attached with that. Is it possible to refinance or buy an additional period of fixed rate in your case? Is that possible?
So we have 5, 10 or 15 years fixed rate.
Not 2, just starts at 5.
Exactly, yes. And the rest of the period can be in a variable rate. So that's why it's mixed, because the first period is fixed and after that it's variable. And I cannot answer that because we don't know what will happen in 15 years time. You see, if I do today, I make a loan of a mixed rate, 15 years fixed and 15 years variable. In 15 years time, I don't know what kind of products do we have. So if we have more fixed period, well,
then you can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
So let me ask you the question differently. If there's a customer which has already a mortgage for 15 years and the fixed period finishes today, will you be in the position to help it to buy additional 15 years?
Yes,
that's right.
If he wants to.
That's good. Okay, so we will get further down the road, discuss a little bit about interest rates. So we've done the deed. So I understand you don't leave the customer, just empty-handed, let's put it this way, and because at the end of the day you like to get the e-commerce to the 95%, 98%, sorry.
Exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If the customer can, and I hope he can give me 5 stars for my work.
Okay.
And yes, usually they do, and that's why we have that higher number of satisfaction, because the customers usually like to work with us and to be supported by us, the kind of support that we get.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that your clients are satisfied. Yes.
That means your clients are satisfied as well.
It is correct. Yes. Okay. Let's go a bit further down. We've discussed many of my clients just think that they can buy property and get a mortgage, but there's a bit more than that. Yeah. Let's say if the property needs some renovations, are you in the position to do that as well? Can you do that?
Yes, of course, because in Lisbon there are a lot. In Lisbon and in Portugal in general, there are some houses that are not new and they need at least a redecoration.
Okay.
So we can do the loan. We can make the loan for to buy a house or to buy and renovate. Okay, and that is important because sometimes it's needed a lot of work, like changing the electricity and that kind of renovation. So if the customer has a renovation work budget, we see how much is the house and how much is the budget, and that's our support to send to the risk department and show them that the customer is going to do all those renovations.
Yes. So buying the actual, so that's 2 loans, one for the mortgage.
No,
for the
it's
house?
not.
It's the same.
It's the same loan.
Okay.
We just had those both numbers. We will add that and we make it all in one loan.
Okay.
The specificity of this is that in the day of the deed, the customer will take a part of the loan to buy the house and a small part, the first tranche, to buy the materials to start the renovation work. But we have to make sure that the renovation is happening. So we are going to release tranche by tranche as the work is progressing. Exactly.
Does it actually require an inspection from a surveyor? Okay. And tell me one thing. So this budget, is it like the best estimation from the client, or do you actually need some document from a builder? Okay.
We need a detailed budget with a lot of information, like the address, the company that is going to do it, and the amounts, the prices have to be in each section. So it's a document that it gives us a very good information on what are the works that are going to be done.
Okay, so basically, if I understand well, you've got a builder. It's not just any builder. This builder needs to have some kind of financial security, so it can't be bust, for instance. So basically, you in this case, you won't give the loan if the builder is not in proper financial condition. Is that correct?
Yes, because the risk department will check the information of the company.
Okay. Because yes, there are many folks out there that
Yes, I think it's a good thing for the client too that we are going to check that information, because if it's not a very honest person, let's say that like that, it's important for the customer also to know that it should not give him the money so he can get away with it.
That's good to know. Okay, so that's very interesting to know. And as far as the appraisal is concerned in this sense, how does it work? So you got an appraisal for the house as it is, and then a new price for the house when it's completed, correct?
Okay. The engineer goes there and let us know that the house as it is, it's worth 300, but with this budget that he also saw, it's in the end is going to work more. So that's the amount that we consider to do the loan. So we can go up to 70% of that final amount.
Okay, this is excellent. Okay, what about, let's imagine that someone bought a land and now they want to build something on it. How does it work? Is it possible to do that even for non-residents?
Well, it depends on the profile of the customer, because for non-residents, it's usually out of our approval policy, but it depends. So I would say that if it's a very good customer, maybe we can do it.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
And it works very similar to the renovation, because we also have to have a budget. And we are going to look to the worth of the house in the final of the construction. So
it
and
works.
and it's also released by tranches, and the installment is paid accordingly the money that it's already on the side of the customer. So
Okay. So basically, if he has a budget of 300,000, you
to the
release.
construction
Yeah, if you release 50, he just pays capital and interest on those 50.
on those 50.
Okay.
And when I release another tranche, I can sum up with that.
Okay. This is interesting also to know. Tell me one thing. I also understand that it's possible. You as a bank, let's say you currently live a house. You bought a new house, needs renovation. Okay. What happens if this person does not have a place to go? Is it possible to keep the mortgage that you have currently on a house and get a new mortgage for the second house? Is that possible from your end?
If it's possible for someone to have two mortgages?
Two mortgages in this case.
Yes, it's possible, as long as the as the income is enough to pay for both. Yes, it's possible to have more than one mortgage.
And it works pretty much the same. So you've got the renovation, releases certain tranches as you mentioned, and that is paid accordingly. Okay. And once it's completed, he moves. What happens? He can sell the house.
Or you can rent it.
I can rent it. Okay. That's interesting. So you keep two houses in Portugal.
Yes.
I wish I could do that.
Yes, it's a good business.
It's good. It's a good business. Okay, excellent stuff. So we've covered quite a lot. Let's see if I think this is not working at the moment, but okay. Let's see if some magic happens around here. Oh, here we go. Let's. Well, we started off in the beginning where we were. Okay, so we've seen loan to value 70%. No need for translate documents. Oh, this is very something which I find interesting. I do have a lot of difficulties in presenting cases to other banks if they don't have the NIF.
Yes.
You're telling me that in your case you don't need a NIF to get the approval process undergoing?
Yes. We can start our process without even the customer has a Portugal fiscal number. Yes, he can send us later the fiscal number, because on the day of the deed he will have to pay taxes. So he will need that, but we can start without it. So if there is someone that comes to Portugal in holidays and just fall in love for a house and wants to know if it's possible to buy it, he can do that even without
having the
all the documents.
This is something very good to know, because I do have a lot of difficulties when it comes. And for you out there, the NIF over here, as compared to U.S. citizen, he access the social security number. So basically, this is the case. That's where it's the link for all IT systems, and without it's not possible to move things forward. Okay, so you can have the approval without the NIF. Okay,
yes,
this is good. So you're telling me, we discussed that the minimum fixed rate on a mortgage with UCI is 5 years. Okay, what types of mortgage do you offer to your customers in terms of validation of types of interest?
You mean we have a variable rate for the 30 years or 35, which is our limit. And the minimum limit is 7 years.
7 years to have as fixed or for a mortgage?
No, for a mortgage.
Okay.
Between 7 and 35.
Okay.
And we have for fixed rates, we have 5, 10, or 15.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if the customer wants the whole period of fixed rate,
Mm-hmm.
well, we should do it until the 15 years.
Okay. So the minimum 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do in a case, because the limit in Portugal for most banks is 75?
75 years old,
Yes.
exactly. So if a person has 68,
Mm-hmm.
he can do the loan. But I have already made some loans for someone that has 70 or something. So we might be
that.
flexible in some of these rules.
Okay, but still the minimum is seven years.
For our our policy, it
Okay,
is.
so there's exceptions to the rule. Okay, this is good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So 5, 10, 15 fully fixed rate. Interest rates in the past couple of years in Portugal have been a nightmare. First they went up, they reached a peak of about 4.2%, something like this, and then it's coming down. Okay, now I'm not going to hold you on your position, and I understand it's nothing to do with potentially what UCI thinks about interest rates, but what is your opinion about interest rates? Where do you expect, or what would you tell your customers to be aware of?
I wish I had a crystal ball
Of course, no
to
one
tell
does.
you, because UCI always talked about the fixed rate with the customers, even with the Portuguese, but our country doesn't like much fixed rates. But everyone that I sold fixed rate are now very thankful because we never know what might happen.
Okay.
So when you get a fixed rate, you have more security. You are more peaceful, I think. But it depends on how fast do you want to pay your loan.
Okay.
Because if it's a loan that it's going to last your life, if your income it's not very high, if you are counting the money for the day-to-day expenses, maybe a fixed rate it's the best for you. Even if the rates are low, because also the fixed rate gets lower. But if you have a lot of money and you want this, but in I don't know, in 1 year you will pay it in total, maybe a fixed rate is not the best thing. The best thing for you, exactly, because when you get a fixed rate, you have a penalty when you want to make early payments.
How much is that?
Oh, in a fixed rate, it's 2%.
Okay.
In a variable rate, it's 0.5%.
Okay.
So
even if you have a mixed rate, while you have the fixed rate is 2%.
yes, in the fixed periods is 2%.
Okay. So
unless you negotiate with the bank, that's
so
percentage.
let's say if someone buys a house, it does a 30-year mortgage, but he only plans to stay there for about 10 years. So your advice is go for 10 years fixed, and then when it becomes variable, it becomes cheaper for them to pay off.
Pay down, yes.
Okay. So basically, what I understand from you is that because you own a house, it's your house, you live in, and you want to know what your day-to-day payments are.
Yes.
So always advise, regardless, go for fixed rate. At least you're not gambling with your house. It's like a stock market.
Yes, you know that you have that amount to pay every month, and it's not going to be higher or lower, but it's that. It's like paying a rent to a landlord, but instead of going higher, it stays the same for that period of time. Just let me tell you another thing about the payments, the early payments, is that when you make an early payment, you can lower the amount of the installment or the time, the
Ah,
or the length of the loan.
so you pay it off faster.
Yes, because if you are comfortable with the installment that you are paying now, you can lower the length of the loan, keep the same installment.
Okay, I see. I see what you're saying.
But you
So,
pay faster.
because my understanding is that most banks they keep the maturity on the loan.
So they can receive interest for longer time.
Longer time. Okay, this is good. Yeah. So I think it's a fair
Yes.
judgment. Okay, this is good. So many banks over here they'd like to talk about life insurance. Okay, is it something in UCI? Is it like a killer for the deal? What happens in this case?
Well, it depends. we usually do the life insurance to the customer, but well, we don't. We want to do the business as well, so we can arrange something.
Okay, okay. This is good to know.
We are flexible.
Okay, so this is good to know. Patricia, anything else you like to add up?
Yes,
or?
I just want to revise the documents that are needed to
Let's bring-
apply for a loan here
let's
in
bring,
Portugal.
bring over.
Yes,
Okay.
this is it. So we mainly need some types of documents like the identification from the country, if it's a European country in the UE, you can send us your
Tax return?
citizen card
Ah, okay,
from the
okay.
country because it's
Okay.
accepted in Portugal. But if it's like in the United States or something, you have to have a passport. And then the fiscal Portuguese number that can be sent later, as we said before. We also need to know if the customer already has any loans in his name. So we ask for the credit report of that country.
Okay, not the credit score, the credit report.
The credit report.
Okay.
Usually it's a long list.
That's right.
Yes, a very complete one. And then sometimes the last two tax declarations are enough for us to decide as an income document. We are very informed about the several countries with mainly now Americans with 1014
the 1040.
the 1040 document and all those Schedule C and B and everything. So we already looked into a lot of those. We also want to know if the customer has some savings that is going to for the down payment for the 30% and all the expenses of the process.
Like the proof of capital for the down payment.
Exactly. But also if the customer has a big saving account where he has capital gains, we can consider that as income. You see, we will look into his portfolio and we'll consider a percentage of that.
Okay, so let me cut you just there. If I understand well, let's say Portugal right now is becoming the Miami of Europe. People want to retire, relaxing and so forth, okay?
Yeah.
So a person...
But more beautiful.
Okay, I've never been to Miami, so I can't really tell you that. But I assume yes. Yeah. Let's say this person, as you may know, like especially U.S. citizens, they don't put the retirements into government schemes. They do it in private schemes. So let's say a person can add up as maybe $1 million, whatever you. So this person, the only income is coming from there, and he's taking out money for that portfolio. How does it work that way?
I want to tell you two things about that. One is he might be an employee, and in his pay slip he put some money on the
on the side.
on the 401 and 1K plan.
Okay.
So we will consider that as well. So we don't just look into the net income. We will look into the money that he puts aside. Another thing is someone that has financial investments, and we will look into his portfolio.
Okay.
And we will consider a small percentage of that because,
Okay.
well, it's a riskier thing
Okay,
for
I
us
see.
to consider, you know, because it's very volatile. So it's more difficult to consider a higher percentage. But
Okay.
if it has a high value, we
Okay.
can consider
Okay. So
a
there are
bit from there.
two situations. One is coming from the pension, and then from an investment account, you also consider that as investment. Okay.
We also consider rent if the customer has.
Okay.
Yes. Imagine that I made recently a process to a customer that had like 10 houses rented and 10 loans as well, 10 mortgages. So I did the calculations with the profit that he had on those business.
Okay.
So it's not,
And you still approved it.
and I did.
Wow. So 11 mortgages at the end of the day.
Yeah, more or less like that.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a plan.
Because it was his business, so, and he was an employee and his wife as well, but
Okay.
they had that aside.
Okay, that's. What about not that I have at it? Let's say if somebody has got his own company, okay, he doesn't have a salary, as you may know in Portugal.
It receives on dividends.
Dividends. How do you account for that? Is that possible as well to
Yes.
do income in that sense? Okay.
We just have to see, well, we have to see all income has to be declared. We have to have a document that proves that the income exists, like
Okay.
the pay slip or the company saying that someone got dividends, or even the rental agreement.
With a contract and so forth.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or if you have the financial investments, you have to send us the global position, the latest one. So you have to have that. You have to have the tax declaration, and we have to see the money getting in your
Account.
bank account. So we will ask for the bank statements as well.
Okay, so it means that you just can't say, issue a document, say, hey, I made X 1,000 euros this year, but you actually need to see that money coming into your personal account. Okay, what if, let's say, in this case, someone that issues a document like, I don't know, dividends, 10,000 euros or dollars each month, but he gets paid like every 2 months. Does it work as well?
Yes.
It doesn't actually match the money that's coming in, as long as it's coming in.
Exactly.
Into there.
We are going to sum all from the last 6 months,
Okay.
how much it was it, and we will compare with the information that he gave us.
Okay. Not I have it. I've got a more complex, which I'm sure you have some information about it. Is that sometimes people are self-employed. Okay. As you may know. One thing is the actual P&L of that person, and the other is the fiscal P&L. Let's say you can deduct certain expenses, like, I don't know, like going out with clients or car loans, whatever you. Okay, and the actual money that person is having is not to do with the fiscal. How does it work? Do you guide yourselves what is declared on the tax return, or the lifestyle the person does actually have, what the money is coming in as
we have to know what is declared.
Okay.
So if it's a company, we are making the loan to a person, not a company.
Okay.
But we can analyze also some income from the company.
Okay.
Because we understand that you were explaining that sometimes the company and the person, it's a little bit
With mixed.
yes, with a little bit mixed. So we will analyze if it's needed. We will analyze both.
Okay. Okay. This is good. Something else for you. Let's say it's someone that is in a research program with university, and this person gets a contract, and this contract is like 1 year based contract. Okay, so
You mean a scholarship or
like
something?
let's say scholarship. Yeah, we know that, for instance, that person has been for 2 or 3 years, but we also know that there is a risk of this person not renewing the contract. How does it work from UCI perspective? Do you still go ahead and approve a mortgage in this case, or is it something that you just hold back and don't approve?
No, we can
You
approve.
you can approve that, okay?
Yes.
As well as somebody works for the United Nations or government.
Yes.
Because in other... you
Yes,
were saying?
because we have in account also the professional profile of the customer, and we know that even when the scholarship ends, it will be easier for him to get a job
Get a job, okay.
in his area. So
Okay, so this interesting, yeah?
yes. Sometimes LinkedIn also help us to
I
see the history of the customer and see that
Okay. So
it-
you even
it
go
has
that deep to look at the person's
Yes.
profile, just to
as
to
much
understand
information as we can.
possible, of course. Provided it's not like in a wanted list. You're fine with that.
Yeah.
I understand. This is good.
Yes.
So what else do we look at this type of people?
Okay, so this is it. So it's identification, credit report, tax and bank statements, pay slips, and that's it. So
Okay.
it's very easy, and it's all documents that anyone has.
Okay, so I think we've pretty much covered everything. I really
I think
appreciate
so.
coming over, to give us some highlights for the people out there who are looking to secure a mortgage in Portugal using UCI as a mortgage lender. What I would like to say to the people are there, we have a small treat for them. If you are looking for property over here and you want to do a mortgage, we like to offer you the appraisal commission. All you have to do when you type in for the case, say that you want to follow up with the UCI offer. Okay, so let's put it this way. We'll be happy to cover this cost for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
and
so
I'll be
much.
looking for you out there.
Okay,
Yes?
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Ok.
Oh, boa. Nos